A staggering number of refugees continue to flock into Europe, with an estimated 12,000 arriving at Munich main train station Saturday, and about 40,000 was expected over the weekend. Volunteers provide food and water to the exhausted travelers, with many spending the night at the station. Europe is experiencing its worst refugee crisis since the wars in the former Yugoslavia in the 1990s. Many of the current refugees are fleeing the violence in Syria, where Western-backed extremists have been battling with Syrian government forces for 4 years. Austrian authorities are expecting another wave of migrants and refugees, while Hungary moves forward with plans to seal its southern border with a fence by Tuesday.
With more than 400,000 people registering to be members of the Labour Party in the last 2 months alone, this year's leadership contest took on a whole new pace, defined by an overwhelming support for MP Jeremy Corbyn.
You know, we've never had a leader, I think, in my lifetime certainly, that has electrified the electorate in the way in which Jeremy has. And I think his appeal is that he is somebody who is prepared to take on the establishment, prepared to say the unsayable things, really.
Not everyone, though, was so willing to give in to the passion of politics.
As a major political party, it's our duty to elect someone that the United Kingdom can vote for, and not someone that we're just going to make that's going to make us happy.
But as the results came in with Jeremy Corbyn obtaining a historical 60% of the votes, the euphoria was clear. And a victory speech was dedicated to loyal supporters in a nearby pub.
And just as Jeremy Corbyn is announced as the next leader of the Labour Party, thousands of people descend upon Parliament Square to express their anger with current Prime Minister David Cameron and his response to the refugee crisis which is sweeping across Europe.
I feel like it's not good enough. I feel like if we're not thinking along the lines of that everybody is human and everyone should be welcome. I mean, if it was his children that were trying to cross rivers and dying, he would have a lot more to say about it.
Many feel newly elected Jeremy Corbyn would be a more sensitive leader.
I've known him for 40-odd years when we worked on Chilean refugees in the 1970s. And he has never given up working for refugees. And I think he will raise the level of debate, he will get the best out of people, and in doing that, he will benefit this country and the world.
The refugee crisis and how to deal with it will be just one of the issues Jeremy Corbyn will be debating in Parliament as the new leader of Britain's most prominent opposition party. Stephanie Kennedy for Telesur, here in London.
In the United States, Democratic Party presidential candidate Bernie Sanders continued his campaign, holding a 3,000-person rally at Winthrop University in the state of South Carolina on Saturday. Sanders' campaign has been gathering momentum, winning support with his message of social justice and challenging the power of the wealthy in the U.S. The Vermont senator, who describes himself as a democratic socialist, recently pulled ahead of front-runner Democratic Party hopefully Hillary Clinton in the key state of Iowa. Sanders, Clinton, and other Democratic Party candidates will hold their first debate on October 13. A U.S. military convoy began the first leg of its controversial tour of Eastern Europe on Saturday, leaving the German town of Vilsek en route to the Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Hungary. The 21-vehicle, 62-soldiers convoy is part of joint exercise by the U.S. military in Eastern Europe, dubbed the NATO Danube Ride. The maneuver has drawn protests from anti-war activists in the region. The iconic Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem was the site of clashes between Palestinians and Israeli police, after the Israeli authorities entering the site in pursuit of a group of Palestinians. Israeli police said the group, who they also accused of storing explosives, had barricades themselves inside the mosque, throwing rocks at the approaching police. The Muslim holy site, which lies in occupied Jerusalem, has been the scene of flare-ups between Palestinians and ultra-nationalist Jewish, who have been pushing the Israeli government to allow Jewish prayer on the site, which stands above the Western Wall. Our correspondent Noor Harasin has more.
Over the past days, the Palestinian people here on the ground in Gaza and in the Palestinian territories have been busy and excited about the latest UN decision of raising the Palestinian flag in the UN headquarters. However, this morning, clashes occurred between Palestinian youth and Israeli forces and also Israeli settlers inside the Al-Aqsa compound in the Palestinian occupied holy city of East Jerusalem. The Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Al-Quds, the city of Jerusalem, is a very holy place for Muslim worshippers, even for Christian worshippers, Palestinian worshippers, and these clashes are considered one of the most serious. We have numbers of over 50 injuries from the Palestinian side, and also the Israeli media reported that there were some injuries on the Israeli side.
Clashes between leftist Kurdish rebels and Turkish security officials continue, with 2 police officers killed and 5 others wounded after a car bomb detonated near a police checkpoint in southeastern Turkey. Meanwhile, Turkish helicopters dropped a series of barrel bombs over the Sirnak province, reportedly killing 2 Kurdistan Workers' Party fighters. Ceasefire between the rebels and the government collapsed in July, leading to some of the worst violence seen in Turkey over the last 2 decades. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has abandoned the peace process and has ramped up rhetoric against the Kurds as the country prepares for a snap parliamentary election on November 1. WBC and WBA welterweight champion Floyd Mayweather Jr. moved to a 49-0 record, beating Andre Berto by unanimous decision in Las Vegas, United States. The 38-year-old easily defeated his younger opponent, landing significantly more punches over the 12th-round fight. The undefeated Mayweather repeatedly said this would be the final fight of his career, despite speculation about a rematch with Filipino boxing sensation Manny Pacquiao. The first match between the 2 boxing stars in this past May was the most expensive fight in history.
Facts that have marked the course of history. Productions designed in the English language and made for the English-speaking world. This is Documentary. Watch it on telesur.net/English. Telesur, wherever the news, you'll be there.